Where else are you going to find two Asian women talking about soccer or football? You're not. You're going to find it only here on Ticket to Anywhere podcast.
I'm Trizzy.
And I'm Leah.
And this is Ticket to Anywhere podcast, bringing you the gear, tools, and tips to equip you for a travel-filled life.
No matter your travel experience or lack thereof, we aim to be your first stop when you're thinking of where to go, how to get there, what to bring, and what to do.
Catch the latest episode every other Wednesday on YouTube or your favorite listening app.
We'd love to connect with you. Find Ticket to Anywhere on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ticket to Anywhere podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Trizzy at TrizInc.
And I'm Leah, LA in Flight. And we got a pretty cool, kind of time-sensitive episode.
It is.
For y'all today because we're talking about Copa America being held in the United States of America in 2024 in just 3 short months.
Oh, that's so fun.
Because at time of recording, it's March. Yeah. So Copa America is a men's soccer or football tournament that brings together all of these South American teams and recently a lot of Central American and North American national football teams to play in a tournament for a world title.
Fun. I love sports, so I'm into it. I'm all about
Big fan. Recently converted soccer fan.
Yes, I know. Whether it's women, shout out Angel City football.
Angel City. I haven't gone to a game yet.
It's fun.
I know.
Yeah, it's a good environment.
That's what everyone says. Angel City is our local women's club team out here in Los Angeles. So, and they're pretty new.
Yeah.
Couple years, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And they're young too. We got some
young
there
are. There's some like 18, 19-year-olds, like people who missed their prom because they were playing soccer.
It's crazy. But it's great. I mean, the whole soccer environment I love.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of fun. The fans are serious, as we mentioned in this episode. But this episode is to kind of, shed some light on one of my favorite sports personally, one that I grew up playing and an event that's only happened in the US one other time. Yeah. And this is the second time it's being hosted. I think soccer and soccer/football on a global stage is big globally. Yeah. But in the US, I feel like the past few years, maybe the past like decade or so, they're really, really amping up soccer in the US. Yeah. Because it's just not, one of the big sports.
If you're thinking of going to one of these sporting events, one of these games, to help you plan, find budget ways to get around the city or go to it. Leah did a great job of giving examples of flight prices and ticketing prices too.
Yeah, definitely, because you got to pay for the event first and foremost. The event and stuff. Actually, you know what? We didn't even bring that point up in the episode. It's like a lot of people will just fly to a city and be in the atmosphere of it, the atmosphere of the city. But I don't know when that's worth it. Maybe the World Cup. I mean, Copa America is a big tournament. But
I would say the NBA All-Star is I know LA did it up.
Okay.
And Indiana this past NBA All-Star, although it was snowing, you saw our friend Mia on the map. She had like festivities around the city and stuff. So if it does do that around the city, then it's worth it to go out.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. But I want to know who of you out there is also a soccer fan. So please DM us or comment on this video and let us know because I want to find others, I mean, Trizzy is now, but
we'll do a soccer meetup, a football meetup.
I love it.
T2A football meetup.
I love it.
And play. Yeah. What coffee are you going to be drinking if you go to one of these games?
Yeah, because I need that energy, right? Actually, this is a cute coffee. I've never had this on the show before, but Seafood City, which is a Filipino grocery store specializing in obviously seafood, but it's a full-on grocery store. They sell these like tiny 8-ounce cans.
So cute.
Mr. Brown is the brand. And this is a macadamia nut iced coffee and it's loaded with sugar, I'm sure. But it's a good like quick fix. And it's so cute. It's 8 ounces. It's perfect. But this is what I'm drinking for this episode today.
Hey, nice.
And what about your tea?
I got a genmaicha tea, which is roasted rice and matcha with green tea leaves.
Yeah. I could literally smell it from here.
It's a strong first brew. Like,
ooh.
Yeah, but then it kind of dies down. It dies down after one steep.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's kicking.
Yeah. Right. Well, cheers to football.
Cheers.
Ole, let's go get some games this summer.
Hey. Ole, ole. We'll do that.
Please start that. Yeah. You got to do the ole, 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 ole.
Yeah, teach me. Hey.
Where else are you gonna find two Asian women talking about soccer or football?
Football.
You're not. You're gonna find it only here on Ticket to Anywhere podcast. It's true though. Yeah. It's so true. So this episode features a lot of soccer, actually only soccer.
Yeah.
And traveling around the USA for a popular sports tournament. So if you love that topic, those topics, then you're just stay tuned.
This is super exciting for me because I'm now just getting into like the football soccer life.
Yep.
I grew up as a basketball player, so that's my sport. But since I've met Leah and just like been rocking with her, she's just been getting me on like these soccer and football games.
That's so funny. Yeah. So we're gonna I will be interchanging the word soccer and football here because soccer is the name for the sport in the US and Australia, but it's known as football everywhere else. And that's funny because the reason I want to make this episode is because the two sports that I understand and love the most are soccer and hockey. So
opposite of me.
So opposite. I know. So opposite. I mean, I love like the Olympics as a whole.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about Copa America, which is really exciting. And before we jump into that, Copa America, about like, we'll kind of give you a background about what it is, why it's being held here in the U.S. But, why do I want to talk about Copa America? Like I said, I love soccer, I love hockey. It's happening here in the United States. It is the top men's football tournament contested among national teams from South America. It is the oldest national team tournament in the world and the third most watched continental football competition on the planet.
That's crazy. So anywhere in the country, it's anywhere in the country, it's always that popular. Or anywhere in the world where it's held.
Yeah.
It's always that popular.
Yeah. I mean, it's only held in the Americas.
Oh, okay,
usually in South America. Because it's all it's all South American teams. It's actually the Conmebol Copa America, and Conmebol is short for like Confederation of South American Football, basically.
Okay.
It's a tournament for South American men's teams, and this is men's teams. But we will say the Women's Gold Cup, which is the women's equivalent of the Copa America. It's actually taking place right now at time of recording, taking place through February and March in Southern California and in Houston randomly. And by the time this releases, we actually should have a winner to the Women's Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Which will be really cool.
Damn, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then in May or in June of 2016, when I was living down in Buenos Aires, Argentina, the U.S. was hosting also the Copa America. It was the first time the U.S. hosted it.
Nice.
Was in 2016. And I was out with like a bunch of American, British, and Argentine friends, and we'd go to the bars and watch the games together. So it was like really special memories and a lot of fun cheering Argentina on.
Sweet.
I don't even think the U.S. was in the tournament. I can't remember.
Oh.
I know, because I mean, U.S. soccer in general, men's and women's, is just... It's been lying low for so long, but
it is a different vibe. Like I've been to a women's soccer game here, and I've been to soccer games, or at least one in London recently.
Oh yeah,
and
the atmosphere. That's the birthplace of soccer.
Yeah, the atmosphere is so different.
It's so different.
Yeah,
it's sad. Also, I played soccer for 8 years growing up. I forgot that important part. I was like, this is why I like the sport so much, because I literally Trizzy grew up playing basketball. I grew up playing soccer.
Yeah.
So I just didn't make the high school team. So.
They're a bunch of haters anyways.
But yeah, I'm undecided. You know, I want to talk on helping people go watch Copa America games in the U.S. I am undecided on if I'm going to any games. So, yeah, let's get into a little bit of the background. I told you kind of what it is. Oldest national team tournament in the world. I mean, you guys can Google all of this, but if you don't want to, we're just going to tell you now.
Yeah.
It's 16 teams, 32 matches, played in 14 stadiums across the USA between June 20th and July 14th of this year, 2024.
Okay.
So this is only the second time the USA has held the tournament. The first time was 2016 when it was the centennial celebration of the tournament. So 100 years old.
Wow.
Then, yeah. And at time of recording, Copa America tickets just went on sale a couple days ago. They've sold over 500,000, which is crazy. Yeah. And this was a cool fact. Copa America now has all of their social media accounts in Spanish, English, and Portuguese. So X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook.
Okay.
They're all like trilingual.
For real.
Yeah, which is really nice. And I know y'all are dying to know this, but yes, Leo Messi is slated to play in Copa America, which actually works out perfectly because if you know any of the greats in soccer and football, Leo Messi's now playing for Inter Miami, so he's living in the U.S. But soccer season in the U.S. were kind of weird. Okay. It goes through the summer, whereas all around the world, it's played through like the basketball and football season.
Yeah,
like it's played through the hockey and basketball season. But in the U.S., they play it spring to late summer.
Okay.
But because Leo Messi's here in the U.S. and the Copa America is also in the U.S., it won't be far travel for him. So as of right now, he's supposed to be playing.
So who does he represent for in this case?
Argentina.
So, okay, so he's going to be playing for Argentina.
Yeah,
it's
he's
not like
playing
he's
for Argentina.
Playing for the US
No.
Okay.
He'll be playing for Argentina.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is so funny because he's like playing for Inter Miami on his club team.
Right.
But then playing for, I guess that's how for the World Cup, everyone goes home to their home countries, right? Versus their club teams.
True.
So
same with like the Olympics, NBA.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So this was interesting too because this is only the second time the U.S. has hosted this tournament, right? When it's known for South American teams. Now, all the Americas try to play nice, I guess, whenever you can and bond together whenever you can. I guess when it comes to like a global sports stage, right?
Yeah.
So I was reading an article that said, first things first, why are they holding it in the U.S. this time around? But this means that the U.S. men's national team will be playing more high-level competitive games between World Cups. And if you know anything about the World Cup, we are right now halfway to the 2026 World Cup, which I'm really excited for because it will be hosted in North America. So Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. Yeah, it's going to be hosted here. The U.S. men's national team has faced Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, and other South American nations, but in friendlies. So this is actually competition for a cup title now. Ooh. I know. And I mean, come on, the U.S. men's national team versus like the Argentine national team. Okay, now I feel like a sports reporter.
Even for me, a person who hasn't been following soccer till like of recently, I know that the men's U.S.
national team is just not it.
It's not popping.
They're honestly trying. They're a young team.
Yes, that's what I heard too.
Which is
they're
good.
Young and they're able.
Yeah,
they have a lot of potential.
Yes,
nowadays.
Exactly. A lot of potential. They're not of retirement age, but that's just like a little background on the tournament, which is really cool. So the only cities that I care about that are being played at are on the West Coast. Of course, the ones that I can get to easiest, right? So SoFi Stadium right here in LA, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, State Farm Stadium near Phoenix, Arizona, and Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, which is in Northern California. Okay. So if I were going to go to a game this summer, I'd only go to one of those 4 stadiums.
Nice. Okay.
Because I don't want to spend.
They're accessible to you.
Yeah. Even by road trip.
Yeah.
For versus sure. Like flying. Because we're going to get into the flight tickets. Y'all will be like, excuse me? Yeah. And so as tournaments go, there's 4 groups with 4 teams each. So there's 16 teams. And this is the group stages, AKA the knockout rounds.
Yeah.
So you're playing to literally like you're going to play the other 3 teams in your bracket, for those that don't know how it works. And I'm not claiming I'm an expert. I did a lot of research for like an hour or 2 before we did this, but you know, I'm passionate about soccer and I really want to learn more. So I actually like kind of explaining this, because I'm like, yo, if we got these, if you're into traveling for sports, I feel like this is a golden opportunity to go see a game in the US. Oh, yeah. Right? I mean, I know there's club teams in almost every major city. Right. But this is like we mentioned, this is a global scale. These are international teams, you know? So for those of you that, you know, are cheering on the USA or want to, USA is Group C this year with Uruguay, Panama, and Bolivia. So that's who they have to knock out to advance. Okay. At the time of recording, there are 2 teams that haven't made it yet. Those matches will determine winners who make it to the group stages. So there's 2 spots that are unfilled right now. Ooh. And those 4 teams are Canada and Trinidad and Tobago, and Costa Rica and Honduras. Wow. So there's some Central American and obviously North American teams in there, but that will be decided. Actually, even by the time this episode comes out, they will still not have played those games. So they're playing those games at end of March. Yeah. We will still be deciding by the time this episode comes out. So I guess keep an eye out for that if you're a soccer fan. Yeah. And then CopaAmerica.com has all the tickets. It's hosted through Ticketmaster. Personally, tell me how you feel about this. I feel like you'd be the same, but I would only buy my tickets through there. They even have markers that denote verified resale tickets, but I would not trust to buy anywhere else. Yeah. I would just buy them through the official site.
I think I'm the same way. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're not going to get scammed out of hundreds of dollars.
Hell yeah. I mean, those tickets, people got plans. People be scheming.
Oh, yeah. So no, don't buy them on the side of the road, folks. That's our biggest recommendation.
Don't do that. And if you're booking, make sure that your Delta account is linked with Ticketmaster, because you could get Delta Skymile points for every dollar that you use or you pay for on Ticketmaster.
That is perfect advice, because we also have an upcoming episode on shopping portals.
Yes.
That Trizzy was really passionate about.
The passion of soccer from Leah. The passion from shopping portals.
So yeah, like I said, I mean, the Copa America site even has they have the seats that are verified resale tickets. So even if you want to try to get a resale ticket because it may be less expensive, like Ticketmaster provides that, you know, on the it's CopaAmerica.com. So I have buying ticket examples for as far as pricing. So say we wanted to go to a game in our hometown here at Sofi. Okay. Venezuela and Mexico are playing each other end of June. It's a big game because there's lots of Mexicans in SoCal, right? So when I went to go look at tickets, honestly, I felt like 80% of them were gone. Already sold. Yep.
They're quick.
Yep. Absolutely. The nosebleed section for SoFi for that game, Venezuela versus Mexico, it's not even the US, is starting at $121 pre-tax. So with taxes, that's like $150 a ticket for nosebleed, though.
Nosebleed. In SoFi.
That sounds so expensive. I haven't been. Have you?
I have.
Okay. Like you went to a game there?
No,
or just
I went to
an event.
Cascade.
Oh!
Against my will.
How sad. I would go see Cascade I've paid to see Cascade.
Okay, I should have told Maui to bring you instead. Oh.
He's so good. But no, well, you were saying you've seen the stadium. You've been
the
inside,
stadium is very innovative, futuristic, and honestly, $150 for nosebleed at this time, I think it's okay.
Really?
Yeah. The experience that you get at SoFi. However, the parking might be even more expensive than the ticket itself.
Oh my God.
The parking is going to be really, really up there. Like they will raise that, inflate that.
Would you? I almost feel like, because a lot of people, I mean, a lot of like Facebook groups that ask for like help, like Ladies of Los Angeles type of groups. But a lot of people ask about parking information for SoFi. But like, could you like, if you didn't want to rent a car, you were Ubering, could you Uber to like near the stadium and then just walk 10 minutes?
So there's the Kia Forum, which is right next to it.
Yep.
However, the walk, if you get dropped off at Kia Forum, I would say the walk to SoFi might be like another 10 minutes.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But what if you got dropped off like in the neighborhood?
Yes, that would be fine as well.
Like a random, like pretend you're going to someone's house
There's
or something.
Costco that you could have as a landmark, Target, LA Fitness, In and Out.
How far would you say that walk is?
Those
from the
would be, those are just on the outskirts of the parking. So the parking is going to be big, right?
Okay.
But at least once you cross the street, you're in the SoFi parking.
Oh,
so you're just walking to the entrance might be 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah.
And I'm a big proponent of getting to sporting events a little bit early.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're there for an hour, trust me, you want to, like, use a bathroom, walk around, get a snack or a drink. Like, but if you're trying to go, like, 20 minutes before the game like everyone else is,
that's going to be rough.
That's
a good tip. Go early and then experience
early,
it. Especially if you're coming into town.
Yeah,
and SoFi Stadium is, like, this new, huge thing of LA that you need to see.
And they have a huge lake in front of SoFi.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, do that.
Coming from someone who's never been.
They have this thing, an outdoor shopping area.
Oh,
very walking. It's walking distance. It's on the other side of the parking lot. So there's a theater there. I believe there are a few food places that are open. The shops aren't open just yet, but you could walk around. It's really nice. You could see like the built of it. So there's things to do.
Yeah, sporting event tips. We've had, Ed, Itinerant Fan, on before to share some of his tips, and we learned a lot from him. But you and I, Trizzy and I, have both traveled for like music events, sports events, work events. So we had some tips of our own. Do you have any tips for me on parking at the Forum for a Lizzo concert that starts at like 6 p.m. on a Friday?
The Forum isn't quite, because it holds like, only about the fifth the capacity of SoFi Stadium. So you're probably not gonna get a ton of traffic. But I have gone to a couple concerts at the Forum, and you just kind of want to avoid Prairie Avenue, which is the main drag that goes up there, because that gets kind of jammed with people. But if you kind of approach from a different direction, like Manchester from the east, or Crenshaw is the kind of the next north-south street over. So if you want to like exit there and come up that way,
perfect.
Kind of avoid Prairie at all costs.
Avoid Prairie. Okay, for all you LA locals or Forum goers that are coming out soon, hot tip.
I know SoFi Stadium, the Pink Line or the K Line, the metro has opened up in Inglewood. It doesn't go all the way to LAX just yet, but know that it is operating, and it gets you close enough to the SoFi Stadium.
That's great. Also, benefit of getting there early to anyone, get the good pictures without people in your photos, so you don't have to Photoshop them out later.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised because I know that 121 pre-tax ticket will end up being like $150 per person, right? But let's look at other games. I searched Panama versus USA, which is in Atlanta that same week. Lower level, it starts at $215. Lower level, like 6 rows up from the field.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, which I'm like
surprised
about, right? Yeah. And then I also searched, I saw USA versus Uruguay in Kansas City, Missouri. Nosebleed starts at $85 with tons of tickets left.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm curious. See, that's makes me wonder. I'm like, okay, are people not planning ahead, or is it because like the U.S. doesn't have fans? Maybe the U.S. men's national team doesn't have fans compared to like Venezuela and Mexico.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we won't know. But I just thought it was crazy that so many tickets were sold out for SoFi in LA. And then like there's still so many tickets for like USA versus Uruguay.
If people are coming from international places, it's probably harder for them to find a flight or a convenient flight to Kansas City and Atlanta.
Oh, that's true.
So LA is such a big
Atlanta's
hub.
really big. It's like one of the busiest airports
for like
in the
South America area.
Yeah, and it's just one of the busiest airports in the world. But Kansas City,
Kansas City might be harder.
2 years ago, I tried to fly LAX to Kansas City, and they wanted $900, and I'm like, absolutely not. I would rather never get to know Kansas City ever in my life than pay $900. I can go to Thailand for that, please.
That's crazy.
Yeah. This was when like travel was starting to pick back up in like 2022. So those are tickets that we were looking at, but curious about, USA having so many more tickets left versus like Venezuela versus Mexico. But yeah. CopaAmerica.com. That's where you're gonna go for your tickets. Yeah. We have some flight examples as well. So my biggest advice is I was looking for flights, and like, I don't know, I just love to make a trip around anything. Yeah. Is to make a trip around it, right? Take several days off work, or work remotely if you can, for sure. Work remotely. Like, don't waste your PTO going to another city in the US.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm kidding. That sounds very like hateful, but it's not, I swear.
It's just we want you guys to, you know, be able to utilize what you have. And if your work doesn't feel comfortable with you leaving for a few days and you have to you have to work remote, then tell them that's the compromise. I'll work remote if you let me go here.
Yeah, I love that. As I was searching for flights, I was looking at getting there 1 to 3 days early and staying 1 to 3 days afterwards. Yeah, because if you get there the night before the game and you leave the day after, first off, like, what kind of trip is that? Second off, it's like, of course, it's going to be the most expensive, time or expensive flight. That's going to be the most expensive flight. So, a few examples. When I was searching U.S. versus Panama on June 27th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, I searched for a window about 5 days, with the game being like in the middle. So June 27th is in the middle. $500 round trip nonstop.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. From, you said LA?
Sorry, this is from LA. This is from LA. So, and then I did another example looking at US versus Uruguay on July 1st, which is a Monday, going LAX to Kansas City. Again, that's about 5 days. Game being right in the middle. That's $487 round trip nonstop.
Yeah.
I think that's pricey.
For Kansas City?
And Atlanta. No? I don't know. Maybe I'm still stuck in 2019 flight prices, yo.
But
I think I might be.
Is the Kansas City one like a Thursday to Tuesday?
No, that was like a Saturday to a Wednesday or something.
Okay.
Because the game is on Monday.
Gotcha. Flying Saturday might be the reason why it's expensive.
Really?
Yeah. So I would say, for an event like that.
But it was more, it was more expensive to fly on the Sunday, obviously, because the game was on Monday.
Right.
But I know you just got to play around with it and see, and whatever work can afford you, you know? So, but I don't know. Maybe I'm also just kind of stuck in pre-pandemic prices, to be honest.
No, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm curious to hear if people make big trips around it. I would. Why not? That's what I did with. I went to go see. Who did I see? Chelsea play Brighton and Hove last year. This is Premier League. Went to Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field.
She did.
Saw them play there, and I turned it into a 5-day trip to visit friends, get a lot of great, amazing content, work with some hotels while I was out there. Yeah, it was a very, very fulfilling trip. Yeah, so see. But
it's fun. Make an excuse for everything.
It is 100%, dude. It's life. It's not a dress rehearsal. Just have fun.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is to find pregame bars to mingle and connect with others, and to just kind of get in that vibe. Yeah. Before you head down to the game. Or I just Google them, to be honest, or I'll go to the team's either website or social media to see if they're like hosting meetups that day for fans.
Nice.
That type of thing. So cool. I always think that's fun. I did that in Philly last summer. Yeah. Went to some cool, like, renowned sports bars in the city before the game.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I took public transport to the game. Take public transport if possible.
Yeah.
It's one of our biggest tips, right?
Biggest tips.
It's fun. You don't have to worry about Ubers. And usually the public transport is filled with tons of other people who are going to the exact same event.
Yeah, you can't get lost.
Yeah, can't get lost. Just follow the crowds, right? You won't feel like alone.
Yeah,
And
you're not paying like $100 for parking.
No, you're paying $4 to hop on the subway.
Yeah,
so it's really, really nice
for sure.
A little bit of cash with you just in case. This is just because you never know what you're gonna have to pay for. Also, what if the ATM is broken or run out of money? Like, I know it's like very much a card swiping economy these days, but you never know. There's still places in the US that take cash. So.
Mercury might be in retrograde.
I know.
The ATM might not
be
work.
Broken. Yeah, you don't want to deal with that. Even like a $20 bill.
Yeah.
For
just
sure, to have something. So, yep. This is kind of a new one that I started doing. Screenshot any important tickets in case you don't have service or whatever reason you can't access your email. Someone jams all the signals, like Verizon goes down again, like it's been going down apparently. So, but yeah, screenshotting any important tickets like QR codes, barcodes. Even if you never know. You never
smart
know.
Yeah, and charge your phone.
Yes, or bring a portable charger, like a slim portable charger.
Yeah.
Yep. And then if you are international or coming from outside of the US, this is a really good tip because it took me a couple years to get used to this. But most stadiums in the USA these days have a clear bag policy. And usually that bag cannot be bigger than 12 inches by 12 inches, which is 1 foot by 1 foot. I'm sorry, I know our system's archaic. We don't use the same system as the rest of the world when it comes to measurements, but be sure to check out the individual stadium that you're going to. Go to their website and confirm those dimensions. Sometimes you have to have just either a small purse. Pertains to anyone who carries, needs to carry something. A small one or something that's clear and can't be bigger than a certain size. So that's a really, really important tip because they will confiscate it or not let you in.
Yeah.
If you have something that's out of, the rules.
Exactly. Please take a look at it. Even if take a look at if you need items to be sealed or if it's okay for it to be unsealed as you walk in. Chapstick, hand sanitizer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some places are very.
Have you experienced that? Like chapstick and hand sanitizer?
Yeah.
Which stadium?
It wasn't a stadium.
Oh, okay.
It was another rave event. Against my will. They took my chapstick.
She gets dragged to raves. Really?
They took my chapstick because they thought people would be sniffing it or something. It's a chapstick.
Which venue?
It was a LA Historic Park.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so weird. And this is like a park, not even like a stadium, or enclosed space, right?
Yeah.
Bro, don't take your chapstick in.
Take my chapstick.
And like I said, we've had Ed, Itinerant Fan, on Ticket to Anywhere before, but here are some of the amazing tips that he provided with us when you're trying to go to a sporting event in your own country or in another country.
What tips or any advice do you have on to make these traveling for sport games affordable for people?
So I have a few. One thing for tickets, I try to buy as early as possible. That's what I did for the these matches in England. Go through the team. You can also do things like mine social media for like discount codes and things like that, depending on the team and the demand. You can usually find deals or like pre-sale codes, like that sort of thing, to get different discounts on tickets and things like that. Go buy as early as possible. Like I look for like on sale dates, especially like in the NFL, for example. They usually the schedule's released in April, and so somewhere around May or somewhere around there they'll start putting on sale dates on there. So if you're able to buy at face value, you can avoid the whole having to buy on the secondary market, and usually the rates are expensive. Same thing for hotels. When leagues put out schedules, I'll look at that right away and go, okay, I think I'm going to try to go to this, and this, and I'll reserve a hotel immediately. And make sure it's refundable. Make sure I cancel it by a certain time. So that I lock in a rate before they get wise to it and go, oh, there's a big event going on this weekend. We're going to make the rates much more expensive for that weekend. So advanced planning is like your friend. Like I think that's the case in a lot of different aspects of travel, but in sports, definitely.
Are you a big sports book, like casino watching, sports bar fan as well? Like if you don't go to the games, or do you like to watch from the comfort of your home?
Well, if I'm in Vegas, I'll do that. I've spent time in Vegas just like watching like an NFL Sunday from a sports book, and I'm not a huge gambler at all, but but I do think that's an experience. I think that's also I also think that's something that you should do before Vegas got an NFL team. You're not going to be at a game on an NFL day. You should go to Vegas and just because you'll see all sorts of people and wearing their jerseys and stuff like that, and just hanging out at the sports books. I don't think you even have to bet to have a good time.
No,
you just you sit there watching 12 screens with all sorts of stuff on there, and get drinks and some food every once in a while, and like and you're gathering with a bunch of people, strangers, and like kind of commiserating over this shared experience. So that's kind of the spirit of what I try to do, and I mean, again, if you're not going to watch a game live, then this is probably the next best thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's part of another like atmosphere. I think the sporting atmosphere in general is just so like exciting to me. I rather do that than go to the Las Vegas clubs. So
And that's why I always tell people, like, even if you don't go to an event, just like watching how a city reacts to things going on, like if there's a championship event or something like that, just watching a city go bananas over it is kind of a cool travel experience in itself. So, I mean, timing it, I don't think too many people time their trips around sports if they're not actually going to see something. But, like being in a country that happens to be playing in the World Cup final or something like that, like, just being a part of that and watching the city and all that, just,
so good.
How it changes. Yeah. It's just to me, it's a cool travel experience that I think people can experience and appreciate, even if they don't care about sports.
So if you're going to a Copa America game this summer, be sure to invite us out.
That's right, we'll be there. Thank you guys for listening in on the Ticket to Anywhere podcast, and until next time, safe travels. This is Trizzy at Triz Inc.
This is Leah at LA in Flight.
To find even more travel tips on budgeting, destinations, and our favorite items, sign up for our monthly newsletter, The Check-In, linked in the show notes or description.
This is the Ticket to Anywhere podcast. Thanks for listening.